In today's video, is the Toronto/GTA real estate market cooling down a bit after the all-time highs we've experienced for the past 3 months? Well, we're going to get into that. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. You can find my contact information in the description box with regards to my Gmail, my office information, the social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok. Furthermore, you can find me on Google reviews by just searching my name. Feel free to get in touch with me if you have any further questions with regards to anything discussed in this video or anything discussed generally, or if you need any help with any real estate matters whatsoever. Furthermore, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Your support in that regard would be greatly appreciated, but obviously, as I always like to say, you're not obliged to do so whatsoever. So anyways, let's start with the point of today's video and let's get to it, which is the Toronto/GTA real estate market. Of course, if you have been watching my channel or been up to date with regards to the latest market stats and trends for the last 3 months, of course, we can even extend that to the last 2 years, really. But immediately within the last 3 months, you know that we have been dealing with all-time highs in terms of average sold price, anything from condominium townhomes to detached to semis to condominiums more generally. What has been lately the theme is not enough supply, low amounts of inventory, but a lot of demand and high buyer competition in combination with obviously low interest rates, so cheap money in other words put, and furthermore the bidding war strategy being the predominant strategy for properties on the selling side of things, leading to overbidding, high competition, and sold prices not only $100,000 to $200,000 above asking, but $300,000 to $400,000 above asking, while simultaneously competing with 10 to 15 offers. And if you want a more detailed version of what I'm saying so far, just to establish the groundworks, feel free to watch most of my videos within the last 3 months where I go into intricate detail, property type by property type, area by area, to really go through the market stats and trends. But it's just safe to say the market has been crazy in the last few months. Well, in recent days, and really in the last week or so, I have seen things calm down a tiny bit. And before I get into what I mean by that, just to be clear, I'm by no means saying it's all of a sudden a buyer's market. I'm by no means even saying it's all of a sudden a fair and balanced moderate market. However, it is safe to say, and I can say with 95% certainty, even 99% certainty, that it is a far less seller-friendly market in the last couple of days and in February versus the end of 2021, so November and December to be exact, and January of 2022. So let us look at a few macro numbers, right? Starting out with January, where the market was really hot on all fronts for freeholds and condominiums. Well, when we look at the number of solds across the GTA, for freeholds, for instance, starting out with freeholds. In the month of January 2022, in terms of inventory across all freehold property types, there was 4,768 listings that came onto the market in the month of January. Once again, this is across all areas in the GTA. And furthermore, across all property types, so accounting for freehold townhomes to freehold semis to freehold detached. Of this 4,700 number of listings that came onto the market in January, obviously this doesn't account for listings that came onto the market in December, right? That sold in January. Just purely listings that came onto the market in January. Of this 4,700, guess how many sold? About 78% of these listings sold. 78%, which equals to 3,700 solds. So that sold to listing percentage is really high. And once again, it clearly shows us a very hot competitive market. And 78% is a crazy sales to listings ratio. When we go into February, and this is being recorded, keep in mind, February 28th. Right now it is midday the 28th, right? So we don't have the full data for the last day, fair enough. but I think it's still pretty good sample size to go through February. Well, in February, the listing figures went from 4,700 to 8,900, an increase in listings of 4,200. And out of this 8,900 listings that came onto the market in February of 2022 across the GT and Toronto real estate market, well, 3,900 sold. Of course, in pure quantity, it's 200 more than the previous month in January, but that was 3,700 out of 4,700. This is 3,900 out of 8,900. So the sales to listings percentage fell all the way from 78% to 44%. Well, this shows us firsthand, insofar as freeholds are concerned, there has been a big jump in inventory. And in the February case, most of the inventory, the jump in inventory has occurred within the last week or so, not even the first half of February. And this big jump in inventory has clearly softened the market a tiny bit for sellers, because we're only looking at, once again, 3,900 sales out of 8,900 listings, where last month we were looking at 3,700 sales out of 4,700 listings. This is where I have to reiterate, 44% sales to listing ratio is still good, right? But it's obviously short of the crazy competitive market we were looking at in January. And once again, on this channel, I always say I don't go purely based upon the numbers. I also go based upon my qualitative experience as well, working with buyers and sellers. And working with buyers in this case firsthand, I have seen a lot of listings lately going to a price change status. So what I was actually talking about in one of my more recent videos, how buyers can avoid bidding wars, which is go after listings that failed to sell on bidding night and they relisted, so they changed their price, or actually literally relisted at a higher price, around market value, or at what they were trying to get at bidding night anyways. And I have seen a noticeable increase of those types of listings. Once again, they failed to sell at bidding around $799, and they relisted around market value, around 1.1. Whereas in January, they were listing at $799, they were listing at $999, they were listing at 1.49. They will receive anywhere from 5 to 15 offers and sell 300 to 500K more. So on top of the macro numbers I went through in my first-hand experience, going through listings for buyers in different areas, not just Etobicoke, not just Mississauga, not just Durham, not just Richmond Hill, but all areas, because I work in all areas for buyers. I have seen firsthand a lot of failed bidding wars, either price changing to around market value or relisting. Now that's for freeholds. For condominiums, it is a bit of a different story. But let's go through the condo numbers now, right? Because we just went through the freehold numbers. In the same fashion, when we look at the number of listings that came onto the market for condominium apartments exclusively. So this does not account for condominium townhomes or other variety, just condominium apartment units. We see that a total of 2,600 listings came onto the market in the month of January. And out of that 2,600 listings, a total of 2,070 to be exact, sold. That is a percentage of 79%. Much like freehold, into February, the total number of listings improved to 3,700. Condominiums sold actually diminished, going to 1,800, 1,855. So what we see leading up to March, the spring market, is clearly an increase of supply. And in the case of freeholds, a diminishment, or I don't know if that's the proper word, but a diminishing rate of sales. And in the case of condominiums, a diminishing quantity of sales and rate of sales in comparison to the number of listings. Things are relaxing and calming down a bit. We'll pair this with a potential interest rate increase of a minimal amount, to be fair, 0.25. And the potential for more inventory, because March has been historically the highest inventory month, and sometimes April, in the history of Toronto real estate. I mean, last year it was something like 15,000 to 20,000. We may see this shift to more of a modern market and this relaxation occur a tiny bit more. But as I always like to say, this is general advice for a general audience. I always like to sit down with my buyers and sellers in person or via Zoom to go based upon their particular cases, their finances, their criteria, if they're end user, their investor, if they are looking in, for instance, Midtown or North York versus Durham or Mississauga. All those things make a difference. So at the end of the day, I really want to make note that this is general advice and general analysis at a large GTA level. Anyways, that's Sam from Saberi Real Estate, Remax Realtron Realty Inc. As always, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to ask any questions you may have in the comments. My contact information in the description box. You can find me on Google as well. Look at my Google reviews. And thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned.